So, I was just chilling, sitting back, relaxing, mostly watching my YouTube channel slowly die, and I realized something. For being a Rocket League content creator, I cannot remember the last time I watched a Rocket League video. Isn't that ridiculous? Well, I thought so too. I used to be super into the Rocket League YouTube scene a few years ago, but something changed. But what? Was I finally getting tired of the game? Did I not like Rocket League YouTubers? Or am I just extremely lazy? Probably the last one, but that changes now. I have spent the last week doing extensive research into the Rocket League YouTube scene, and I have created a list of some of the most common types of Rocket League YouTubers. And I intend to cover a very wide range of communities, ranging from the more wholesome side of Rocket League YouTube to the more, what I'll say is the interesting side of the community. Also, I will be starting with the more vanilla communities in the YouTube space and work my way into some of the crazier stuff, so make of that statement as you will. Is it going to be a fully accurate list representing every single content creator in a category that suits them best? Probably not. Is this even going to be a good list? Definitely not. So let's get into it before you process that statement. Also, please subscribe. I need to get 3,000 subscribers so I feel accepted in the YouTube space. Throughout the history of Rocket League or any gaming YouTube scene, there's always been the big dogs. I'm talking about the Musties, the Waitons, the Sunless Khans, and a bunch of other people that would take me way too long to name, but everyone knows who I'm talking about, and shout out to them. But people in this category, they just got that dog in them. I don't know what it is all the time, but they are just really good at what they do. These people also tend to push the creativity of the community by starting new trends, video styles, and challenges. They really do a lot of good for this community, and have helped this game continue to thrive throughout the years of what I'll say are questionable updates to the game. I don't want to spend too much time on this because everyone knows who these people are and everybody loves them. So once again, give it up for the big dogs, 10 out of 10. Now this one has a little bit of a special place in my heart. If you have watched any Rocket League Freestyler before, I would really hope that the name Jazer at least rings a bell. He is actually the first Rocket League YouTuber I ever watched if I can remember properly. Freestyling in Rocket League is actually one of the oldest forms of content, and Jazer definitely helped pioneer the freestyling scene to become as big as it is today. I don't know what it is, but there's always something so satisfying about watching players push the human limit when it comes to Rocket League. And at this point, they are doing mechanics I would have never thought would be possible a few years ago. And it's that constant raising of the bar that gets people to come back every time. Freestyling community gets a 9 out of 10. Now, before I get into the messy community that is Rocket League coaching on YouTube, I would like to make a distinction. In this video, I'm going to talk about two types of Rocket League YouTube coaches. Real coaches, and the super dysfunctional community of fake coaches that are scamming kids and adults out of their money on a regular basis. But for now, let's only talk about the real coaches, shall we? Now, if you couldn't tell, I am not the biggest fan of Rocket League coaching. Now, I'm not saying that every Rocket League coach is a waste of everyone's time and money, so let's talk about the positive side of the Rocket League coaching scene. With a quick search, you can actually find plenty of Rocket League coaches on YouTube who are providing genuinely helpful advice, tips, and unique ways of portraying what it takes to become really good at Rocket League. A lot of these coaches are around the SSL skill level, or have even been pro players at some point in their career. Not only that, but there are plenty of really good coaches giving great advice for free through their videos or other services that may be behind a paywall, but I would consider it to be a reasonable paywall. I think it is really important for these YouTubers and coaches to continue what they do to make the average player more informed. And if we take away all the downsides of this community, which I will get into later, Rocket League coaches on YouTube get a 7 out of 10. Another huge scene in Rocket League YouTube is the pro players, and naturally this is a super popular section of Rocket League content, and for good reason. A lot of interest in Rocket League content is derived from wanting to watch people that are so good at the game, you can't even comprehend achieving their level. Honestly, this is the case for a lot of the game's top creators as they are also pro players, but it makes sense and they have earned to be where they are through their commitment to the game. The general rule when it comes to being a pro player and a YouTuber is that the better you are, the more popular you become. Not too much else to say about this, except I personally see the appeal that this type of content has, and support your pro players. This community gets an 8 out of 10. Alright, let's get into some of the more controversial takes regarding the types of YouTubers I see in the Rocket League space. And let me make this disclaimer right now. No, I will not be calling out any individual channels. These are generalized takes based on a variety of content that I saw, so if it sounds like I'm attacking individuals, I'm really not. So yeah, basically just be nice. That being said, let's talk about Rocket League montages and compilations. Rocket League montages are some of the oldest forms of content in Rocket League, and honestly, they have always been very enjoyable to watch. I have never seen a huge issue with these compilations, especially if it's a content creator using their own gameplay. However, I have been seeing a large rise in montages surrounding not original gameplay. Now, is this the worst thing ever? No, not at all. But I'm sure some of these montages and compilations that are just jump cuts of pro gameplay over DMCA free music have provided people tons of money. But I won't hate on it too much because at the end of the day, it's not like they're trying to steal someone else's identity, they're just remixing content and allowing it to reach a wider audience. I don't know, honestly, I'm just a salty YouTuber who's upset I can't make a good original idea. So montages, get a 6 out of 10. To explain this category, it's time for a little history lesson. So about 5 years ago, wait, 5 years ago? Wow, I'm old. Anyways, so about 5 years ago, Rocket League stopped releasing crates. Well, what are Rocket League crates, you may ask? So basically, back in the day, in order to get the higher rarity items like exotics and black markets, Rocket League used to give you crates. These crates were just random drops you would get after playing matches, but in order to actually open a crate and get the item, you would have to buy a key with real money. I think you see where this is going. Anyways, once you bought your keys with real money, then you could open the crate and see what item you get. And with item rarity possibilities that look like this, and each key costing about $1 a piece, you could see how this looks like a form of gambling, aka slot machines. Except the difference here is that these items really had no monetary value outside of the game. Anyways, when these crates were still around in the game, the community was absolutely feral for them and the items that they might have. This led to a lot of YouTubers focusing their channels around massive crate openings, crate wars, and other in-game related content. So what happens when you mix a game with a largely child fanbase and content creators showing how fun it is to get one really rare item after spending hundreds of dollars? Well, you get Rocket League having to remove crates in 2019 over fears of promoting a form of gambling for children. Now let me just say, as someone who was there, these videos were super fun to watch back in the day, and from a content standpoint, were executed extremely well. But I have to give this community a 2 out of 10 given the controversial history surrounding crates. So we already talked about the good side of Rocket League coaching, and honestly, I don't want to spend too much time on the scamming side of Rocket League coaching on YouTube, but it is definitely worth discussing. Now, I am going to do this without calling out individuals, but I will say this. If you find someone on YouTube who focuses solely on coaching related content, and they are promoting a coaching package that has more than 2 digits in the price tag, just close the tab. There are so many things you could do with that money, like find a better coach for a cheaper price. Honestly, the funniest and saddest thing about all of this is that a lot of bad Rocket League coaches and scammers will just share the most blatantly false advice on their channels, but people will still fall for it anyways because nobody bothers to fact check anything anymore. These people get a 0 out of 10 for taking advantage of a majority child fanbase and extorting them for money by promising they'll become top 1% players in 1 month. Come on guys, if this was real, I would have been out a champ years ago. If you know me, you know I saved the best for last. This content is the undisputed champion of all other Rocket League content on YouTube. I'm of course talking about YouTube Shorts. Now, let me just say real quick, I do think there are some genuinely good content creators doing Rocket League Shorts, but the majority of what I see is so undeniably awful, whether it be outdated memes or blatantly copied and reposted content. And I'm not just talking about montages, because at least those are unique. Those have a soul. Those aren't just the same clip being force-fed to me all the time by people just looking to farm subs. I kid you not, I literally saw a short that was a repost of another repost, and the person put their microscopic face in the corner reacting to the first time to a clip they've never seen before. Not to mention the original post of a clip was stolen from a different channel to begin with. Like, this is copyright inception. Guys, what are we doing? If it wasn't for a couple of good creators making shorts, I wouldn't have even wanted to talk about this because I feel like there are so many better things to talk about and spend my time on, but I at least wanted to get recognition to them, so shorts get a 3 out of 10 because the bad still does outweigh the good. Anyways, I'm going back to grinding champ 2. I'll see you next time.